I have here the Apple Watch 6, the 44 millimeters in the right and 40 millimeters in the left here. Let's discuss about them. What size should you get? Are there any differences between the hardware inside of these smartwatches or not? So let's discuss about this and let's see the details. The first difference obviously is the screen. As you can see here, we have in the left the 44 millimeters versus 40 millimeters. So the bigger size, the 44, has a 1.78 inch screen versus 1.57 inch on the 40 millimeters. So it's a huge difference between the screens. Um, the 44 millimeters has, for example, the screen area 977 square millimeters versus 759 millimeters, almost 200 square millimeters, a difference between them. This is huge and you will feel it on the screen. Also, the bigger one, the 44 millimeters, has more pixels, but you won't feel any noticeable difference between the displays. So from my perspective, there are no differences between the watches if we talk about internal hardware, um, and the only differences are the screen size and the battery. The bigger one, the 44 millimeters, has a bigger battery, and you will get a more a better lifetime when we talk about the battery. So my advice is to go with this, with the bigger one, because it has a better battery life and a bigger screen. Now it depends on your preferences, if you like a bigger screen on the wrist of your hand or a smaller screen. Also it depends of the size of your wrist. This is very important. When we talk about the thickness, there are no differences. They are the same. What I noticed here, it seems that the sensor on the back of the 40 millimeter watch, it's bigger, something like this. I don't know. It's more prominent. This is my experience anyway. When you look at it, maybe because the aluminum frame it's smaller. I don't know. Anyway, the smartwatches are 50-meter water resistant and they are swimming proof. This is extremely important because you can swim in the ocean, in the sea, in lakes or pools. They are swim proof. This is very important. Uh, let's talk about the hardware. As I said, they have the same internal hardware. They have this beautiful digital crown with haptic feedback. They have inside of it that ACG sensor, that electrocardiogram sensor. This is very nice because you can take an electrocardiogram with your smartwatch. They have the same OLED display with 1000 nits. The only difference is the size and the fact that the 44 millimeters will have more pixels, but there aren't visual differences anyway, only the size, that's it. They have ion X glass reinforced. It should be safe to and protected from scratches. They have always on display the both devices. The always on display, as you know, it's two and a half times brighter than the smartwatch from the Series 5. The CPU, it's extremely strong. They have a dual core CPU called S6 with on 64 bits, and it's 20% faster than the previous smartwatch generation. They have 32 gigabytes internal storage and 1 gigabyte of RAM. Also, they have the second generation loudspeaker and microphone. You can take and answer phone calls directly on your smartwatch, and if you have that LTE version, you can do phone calls directly from your smartwatch without being connected to a phone. So in this case, the GPS or Wi-Fi version, you need a phone around you, either connected via Bluetooth. By the way, they have Bluetooth 5.0, or via Wi-Fi. The smartwatches have capabilities to connect to Wi-Fi generation B, G, N, and AC, that 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. This is impressive. Also, they have a lot of sensors inside of it. They have GPS, they have NFC for payments, for example. They have an accelerometer, fall detection, emergency SOS, gyroscope, heart rate sensor, the second generation, barometer, always on altimeter, compass, SpO2 and VO2 max. You can measure the level of the oxygen in your blood, and also you can measure the maximal oxygen uptake during intense exercise. So two different sensors, and extremely useful, because you can measure also the oxygen saturation and the blood oxygen level. They have heart rate sensor. They have magnetic wireless charging. You can access Siri and give commands, anything. The battery is bigger on the 44 millimeter smartwatch, and you will have a better lifetime battery on it. This is it. And by the way, the Apple Watch 6, it's 11% thinner than the Apple Series 3, just like a fact. So these are the smartwatches. This is how they look. It depends on you what you need and what you like. If you like a bigger screen, and if you consider that it will look great on your wrist, go for it. Otherwise, take the 40 millimeters. I like more the 44 millimeter smartwatch. I would love to have a bigger smartwatch than 44. I believe it's okay if they will launch next year another model, a bigger one. I would love. And the battery is it's very important to consider when you buy the 40 millimeters versus 44, because you will get 1 day or 1 day and a half on this, on the 44 millimeters. From my experience, it will last you more than 1 day with all the sensors on, with phone calls on it, with always on display active at maximum brightness, with everything on, the measurements, the heart rate, that washing hands sensor, everything. I'm glad with this smartwatch, and after testing almost every smartwatch on the market, I would say this Apple Watch 6 is the best. It works perfectly. Every sensor on it works excellent. It feels great on your hand. It's the most comfortable smartwatch until now, and it looks great on your wrist. Don't get d- uh, don't fall into that trap when you will say, I would love a round smartwatch. No, all the information on the screen, notifications, everything, they look better on this pattern, uh, and not on a round smartwatch. But this is another discussion. At least this is my decision after testing everything, as I said. And in this final test, I would say uh, the Apple Watch 6 is the best, and it will give you the best options, the best features. It will feel great on your hand, and the screen is impressive, even than the smartwatches from Samsung. I don't know, but the Apple has better screens. So this is it. It's very simple to put it on your hand. Just learn that movement with the band, and that's it. From my perspective, the smartwatch with 44 millimeter diameter is the best choice, and it will look great on your wrist. And this is what I was talking about, that sensor on the 40 millimeters. It seems to be more prominent. I don't know, because maybe they didn't have enough space to put it inside. They need uh, to to do something like this. Anyway, these are the smartwatches, and it depends what you need and what you like. They are fantastic. The both smartwatches are great, and they will deliver the ultimate experience when we talk about smartwatches.